was actually I must have seen it. It was on a chip thing in my computer.
Got this too. Alright, so this is the shelf that's going in. I don't know how much we'll be able to see, but my brother had an idea of bowing it a little bit in the center and sliding it in. I might have to tap each side.
We definitely got to go lower because see, this has got to be way down here.
Yeah.
Same with you. Both got to go way lower.
It's got to go above this though. It's got to sit above this.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. See this here?
Yes.
It's got to go here, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's got a little bit of play. I'm much lower now. You're in way further than me. I can't. You know,
up.
This side's got to go in further first. Oh, here we go. Okay, now go with yours.
Center. Hold on. Let me do this. Get it.
Yeah, another one.
Yes, I do.
Started. Okay, I'm in, not in, but I'm into the.
Yeah, what I'll have to do is make sure that this is all even. And get the screws to hold it, because I knew the ceiling was going to be flexible.
Yeah, well, it ain't going to come down, that's for sure. It's right here, this, because these boards are not the same thickness, this is tipping this out a little bit, so you may have to sand your face frame to custom fit.
Yeah, I can at least get the shelves up. Alright, so this part is in. I'm going to have to figure out a way to keep this up. Because I kind of goofed a little bit on the measurements, I really don't want to take it back down. Maybe I have to put some kind of leg underneath, but I don't know, maybe not. I'll have to figure out how to keep that, because if I take that leg out, it's going to tip down.
Well, what's up above here?
Nothing much, really. Alright, now that I've got the kitchen shelf tapped into place, I'll be putting screws in the side. I'm also going to use a couple L brackets on these two centerpieces because I knew it was not going to line exactly with the ceiling, but I have a good strong wood in back to hold it in place. Now the reason that I have this pushing up underneath here is I took my measuring tape to measure the distance of the bottom going all the way across. And this one here was just a little bit off, not too much, but I want to try and keep everything as even as possible. So until I put an L bracket in there, I'm going to keep this wedged up, and this will be even with the kitchen countertop. Like I said, it was off so little, it probably wouldn't have mattered, but I'm going to try and keep it all nice and straight, especially when it comes to putting in my face frame. That will be the next thing. Alright, so I'm going to take this out. Alright, and even though it moved just a little bit, I think it's going to be just fine. So I'm going to take the measuring tape here. Let's see how we did. Yeah, almost perfect. I know it might be a little bit hard to see, but that's the measurement for all other sections. So I'll do this one side over here, and then next I'm going to be working on putting the face frame up. The pocket hole itself that I made was perfectly fine. The pocket hole screw, perfectly fine. The problem is somehow the pocket holes I made in here lined up with this one, or this one lined up with that. So what happens is the screw goes in, has almost nothing to hold on to. So I fixed it. This is not going anywhere. It's not going to move. And I'm getting ready to put the doors on. But other than that, all the other pocket holes that I did on the bottom, and again, except for this one here, I put a bracket down here to hold this. Everything else went in pretty well. So now I just got to get my doors and bring those out. Alright, I'm getting ready to put all the doors in. Let me go over this. I'll bring this close up to show you some detail, a little bit things I had to work with, because these doors I repurposed from a cabinet down cellar, so I had to make some changes. Now these knobs were usable. The first thing I had to do though is I had to put a couple of washers in behind here, because the screws were too long, but other than that, it works fantastic. The second thing I had to do is that this is a little bit off in the shape. It's not perfectly flat. Now these screws that came with the hinges were just too stuck out too much. So what was happening, the door was closing partly and then hitting this and then bending the hinge out. So I took this screw up top out. Now this one I did take out, and because again this is a little bit off on its depth, this screw does not hit. So I'll either leave this screw out up here, or I'll make a slight indentation as if I was going to countersink, and then cover that up with blue paint, and I'll have all three screws in. Now the last thing that I did is from the cabinet down cellar, had these rollers that lock. I'm not sure what you call them. I wanted to place it up top out of the way so it's not hitting my hand when I'm reaching in. And what I did is I measured in from the edge here to the edge of the door, and I made a mark, and I had the door closed. I make the bottom mark to get this to line up. Now this here where you can't see in behind does have a little bit of spacing so that this adjusts back and forth. So this first door is in. That's not going to go anywhere at all. Now the only thing I'll have to do after the fact is I'm going to have to do some kind of trim all along the top, because my ceiling is not as even as it should be. But that'll be an issue I can address later. For now, I'm going to do these doors. I will time lapse it, because the bottom line is I've got to put all these screws in by hand. I cannot use a drill gun because it will definitely strip things out. Alright, so I'm going to take you on a guided tour here of the end result of all the doors being installed. Now, the first several set are going to be your normal opening and closing doors. I already talked about the issue of the screws here and what I might do to correct that. I have a little bit of an adjustment I think to do on this one, which will be, should be very easy, just to make either put this piece in a little bit more. Now the other thing that I might do is those little buffer things that are soft to put in behind the door so they don't rattle and don't bang. This door, the hinge is a little bit off, but otherwise it's pretty close to where it needs to be. Worked fairly well. Alright, next door here, this one. Now the last set I decided to do something different because as you see, each of these has this face frame in the center. Now I don't know if I'm going to have anything big or not to put in. However, I put in, this is actually a fake face frame. It's just a temporary thing. You'll see why. Because this right here, I had to bevel out so that this screw, so the door would sit flat against it. Otherwise, it was just going to press. But I've also set this up so that the wide part of the door opens away and is not in the way of anything else I'm doing. Now, granted, these doors open pretty wide, but I'd rather have this set up here. And again, you can see this is just temporary. I wanted to see what I will be doing with this setup. I hope you like this video that I did today. My shelves are all in. I have some work to do, as you can see on the trim on the top. Any suggestions, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down are welcome. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. That's the best thing you can do to help my channel grow.